Welcome to 13 Minutes of News in 13 minutes or less. What's up, everybody? How's your week going? Hopefully awesome. How's your weekend starting? Hopefully awesome. I want to give some shout outs to Solo, Moves, and Gary's apps. That's Mr. Middleton, DUH, Maximo, and Flex Alert. So let's start with Solo, you guys. Solo, guaranteed earnings. Get on it, even if it's not in your area yet. They are moving quickly. They're in a lot of areas. I keep telling you this, but get the app anyway, because you can start seeing it starts to run the algorithm, and it is all of your data is anonymous. So the whatever you're driving and stuff that helps them estimate that number to make it right is anonymous data. So if you need more about that, join Gary and I on Sunday Fun Day tomorrow. And Gary's always the guy to ask about data stuff. So if maybe we can talk a little bit about anonymous data and how that's used, because you don't need to worry about that so much. That said, also check out Moves Financial. It's banking for gig workers, and they do things that traditional banks aren't going to do for you. Not only that, they have some features that I'll let you go discover. They work with 16 of the Giants platforms, and yeah, I mean, go check it out, see what you think. And the last one, Gary'sApps.com. If you haven't been there by now, this must be the first time you're watching my channel. But honestly, check it out, guys. Middleton Technologies, Gary'sApps.com, MiddletonTech.com. However you want to get there, you can get there. And then check out the apps. You'll see Maximo, DUH, which is Driver Utility Helper, and Flex Alert. Flex Alert is a free app for Flex users. DUH is the Driver Utility Helper for DoorDash, and Maximo is for Uber, Uber Eats, Lyft, and Grubhub. And they're all safety and filtering apps to let you pick the type of rides you want, or gigs you want. Okay, so we're going to jump in here. And first I want to mention something. I've been talking about it, that the website will be transitioning. So has it transitioned yet? No. But if you go to ridesharerodeo.com now, you are being redirected to the old uberlyftdrivers.com. I shouldn't say old, it's to current, but so right now ridesharerodeo.com is redirecting to there. So even though you see that in the URL, please don't let it throw you, and realize that you are at the right place. When you go to ridesharerodeo.com, it will also say ridesharerodeo.com. However, right now it's going to Uber Lyft Drivers, which is the prior site. From there, you can still get to the podcast. You can get to all the social media links, and you can get to all the news right on the landing page. So also you can get in contact with me if you want, which is also steve@ridesharerodeo.com. Okay, that said, today is I was trying to find, there's other news out there, but nothing is interesting me this week because of the big news that happened this week. And so even though I've mentioned it in a couple other pieces, I want to quickly run through the points of what happened this week in regards to the Biden administration and the gig economy, because it can be misinterpreted, and I want to give you guys the bullet point breakdown. So watching this can either, if you have questions after this, go to ridesharerodeo.com and look at any of the past probably 5 or 6 posts up till today, and they're all relative to what's going on. So you can go dive as deep as you want, and see, you take more than the bullet points away. But here's what I will say. We're going to run this down. Hopefully I can fit it in. I got only what I got in time. So I want to start off with a couple other pieces real quickly that happened that also just tie into this. So first, let's hit on just these 2 points. 2 things in the news. The Uber whistleblower, Mark McGann, in the United Kingdom, who is supposed to be the star witness against the Uber files in Parliament, might not be testifying because Uber, it's a weird situation where the three of the other 4 or 5 people who are going to be testifying, they have to testify. And by them testifying, there's lawsuits for Uber to put on Mark McGann. And so he's thinking about getting out of this. I guess the lawsuits that Uber would put on him would are like life destroyers. I mean, it would just be like, I was reading somewhere it would be like 17 different things they would accuse on him, and that they'd probably win on. So they might have lost their main whistleblower over there relative to this gig economy stuff and making employees. The other big thing that happened here in the United States, we know about the Uber arbitration clause. It's been challenged in many states and always holds up. You know, it holds up that, nope, you guys, you clicked, I agree to the terms of service, and that's what it is. Thursday, a Pennsylvania state court ruled that the Uber arbitration clause is no longer valid. That if you want to go down that road against Uber, you can now. So that opens up a wild opportunity of lawsuits against Uber that before had to be arbitrated first. And if you go, and I won't get into that too far today, but if you want to go to ridesharerodeo.com, search arbitration clause or Uber arbitration clause, and from there you'll probably get a ton of hits. Some of them might go years back, but those are the ones you actually want, because that's when it was a big deal, somewhere around 2016, 17, 18. So those earlier ones, if you're seeing those come up in the hits, those are the ones you want. So how did we get to this Biden thing, and what has everybody been looking at? So in California, Prop 22 was passed. We know this. Prop 22 provides medical stipend, 120% of minimum wage, a couple other things. But by doing Prop 22, let's not forget that the agreement was okay, so AB 5 went into effect, and then Prop 22 was combated by the Flex Association, which is Uber, Lyft, Instacart, DoorDash, the rest of them. They spent $208 million to pass Prop 22 in a vote by 3 million votes in California. So it passed, which by doing that, some people think, well, what did Uber gain in that? Well, Uber gained the fact that the people on the platform could not collectively bargain or unionize. So that's the big perk there. I still think they spend way too much on the Prop 22 stuff, but to them, they saw that as it's better than unionization. Now we have tons of states, tons of states looking at it, but we have Washington State, Massachusetts, and a few other states in 2023 January already implementing new AB 5 laws. Under those states, they will be pushing the employment model, collective bargaining, and unionization. And if the Flex Association tries to combat that, then they can try and come up with some proposal type measures for the next voting, but it will hold till then. In Massachusetts, they've already shot it down and said, no, you will not be able to challenge this. So that's why I keep saying Massachusetts is going to be all eyes on them come January 2023. We're going to see how a unionized state against the gig economy does. So it's not that far off. But here, let's go through the Biden thing real quick. So Biden's gig economy proposal. It was drafted Tuesday. It was submitted Thursday. That means 45 days have begun to write in your opinion. On ridesharerodeo.com, you can find all of the links that you need to write in, and as well as the entire document if you want to read the whole thing. I did take on the whole thing, and I'm going to walk you through real quick just the bullet points of what my takeaway that would be important to all of you to know. So now the process has begun, and that means putting Biden's proposal for a rule change into effect. So here's the takeaway. It will take months, weeks, but probably months to get this actually off the ground. Might be a little quicker because they've been working on it for a while. This is bits and pieces of the PRO Act put together, more targeted at the gig economy, but nationwide. Then once it's off the ground, it becomes open to litigation by the Flex Association, the giants. And that obviously will be taken immediately. Lawsuits, this, that, the other. Once the rule is announced that the rule is going to go into effect, that is when it can be challenged, and it will be immediately. Judicial proceedings on a rule change, on average, are 1 to 2 years, but can go much higher. So my guess is, and a couple things I've read, expected at 3, could be 4 or 5, who knows? But if all this happens, let's even just call it 1 to 2. Even if it's gonna be 1 to 2, that's to have the rule change. Now let's say that after the time is up, the rule does change. Here's what you guys need to know. So oddly, the proposal is limited to only the federal or only the employment policies that the labor board enforces, which basically is only federal minimum wage, which is 7 something an hour. So that's not even really current anyway, but it's more than, even though that's all the effect has, it has a much larger reach. And by that, here, let me explain. So the labor board has to act independently, and that's their reach is the federal minimum wage. However, the IRS and state governments get to decide for themselves where they want to stand. But the push is so hard, and that nothing like this has ever been taken on this size, that most likely over time, most states will adjust to be aligned with this proposal if it does get through everything. Mainly because judges, legislators, administrative bodies, all that need to be somewhat in sync, even on state levels with the federal levels. So when you're going to deal with, states are already going that direction without this even happening yet. So they're already moving towards the push without the push. Bottom line, it's going to take a while for all this to happen, but it's not time. It's time to start thinking about it. Now, real quick, while I have the time, the virtual GigCon is next Saturday, October 22nd. Go to gigworkerconference.com and you will see it in the bottom left corner, or on your phone. You'll see it as the first event next Saturday. Click it and check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot planned. Peace.